This picture-perfect village might look like a Midwestern paradise, but wait until you hear what's hiding behind those tree-lined streets. Today, we're talking the good and the bad of Ottawa Hills here in Northwest Ohio. Hey everyone, I'm Garrett Luhring, your host of Moving to Toledo and your local real estate expert with Danbury Realtors and the Luxian Home Team. In today's video, I'm breaking down the pros and the cons of living in Ottawa Hills, what you need to know before you decide to make this community your home. From top-notch schools to some surprising downsides, I'm going to give you the real scoop here. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date on my content and all things Northwest Ohio. Now let's get into it. First, we're going to look at the pros of Ottawa Hills. We're going to start out on a good note. Number one on our pro list is the top rated schools. So Ottawa Hills boasts one of the best school systems in Ohio, period. The local high school has been ranked among the top in the state, even number one in Ohio in recent years. It's the kind of place where being a good student is actually cool. With A+ ratings and a 95% graduation rate, the schools here set your kids up for success. Teachers are highly paid and deeply committed, and it's a point of the community. If you have children or plan to, this can be a massive pro. Even if you don't, it can help with appreciation, resale value, and the overall lifestyle and community feel. Another pro is it's extremely safe in Ottawa Hills. It's about as safe as it gets here. Well, one study ranked this village the sixth safest and richest city in the entire US. Violent crime here is practically 0 per 1,000 people, meaning it's almost non-existent. The village has its own dedicated police force and they don't mess around. So yes, leadfoot drivers, beware. The speed limit is 25 through here, and they will definitely remind you. For families and anyone who values peace of mind, living in Ottawa Hills feels like living in a secure little bubble. You can stroll the neighborhood at night with absolutely no worries at all, and it's beautiful, and you'll likely know your neighbor. Another pro of Ottawa Hills, it's the beautiful environment and nature scenery. Living in Ottawa Hills is like living in a park. Seriously, every street is tree-lined, there's a meandering creek running through the village, and you'll often spot deer and other wildlife in your front, backyard, across the streets, and all over. The neighborhoods are filled with lush greenery and well-manicured lawns. In fact, the village was originally designed to be an upscale residential oasis, and it really still is. Many homes are gorgeous historic builds ranging from Tudor revival mansions to mid-century modern gems. Imagine waking up to birds chirping and huge oak trees outside your window. The scenery and curb appeal here are out of a storybook. If you love nature and picturesque surroundings, this is another huge plus. Another pro, luxurious homes and the village charm. Ottawa Hills is upscale in every sense. The homes here are absolutely stunning. We're talking luxury houses with character and almost none of those cookie cutter subdivisions. Each home has its own personality and history. Drive down any street and you'll see elegant brick homes, sprawling estates, and architectural details that make you go, wow. The pride of ownership is real, yards are immaculate, and the village services help keep it that way. Leaf pickup, snow removal, you name it, all like clockwork. The whole area exudes a quiet, small town charm, even though it's in the metro. There's a true community vibe, neighbors know each other, and you'll feel a sense of tradition and prestige in the air. It's a place that looks and feels high-end. Number 5 on our list of pros, the close-knit community and the amenities, which I've already alluded to a little bit. With only about 4,800 residents, Ottawa Hills has a tight-knit, friendly community. Neighbors greet you on your walks. There's a strong sense of civic pride. The village often organizes community events and has beautiful local parks. In fact, Ottawa Park, just adjacent to the village, offers trails, tennis courts, a golf course, and more, perfect for the outdoor enthusiast. Because Ottawa Hills is its own village, it provides top-notch services, think prompt road maintenance, dedicated police and fire services, and a responsive, smaller local government. People here are engaged. Residents often include professionals like doctors, lawyers, professors, entrepreneurs, and the likes, and they take good care of the area and their homes. The result is a clean, well-maintained community where things run smoothly. If you want a place where you feel looked after and part of a community, this is it. One of the big advantages in Ottawa Hills is its prime location that offers a peaceful suburban feel right next to all the city conveniences. You're nestled in a quiet enclave, but drive 5 to 10 minutes. You have shopping, dining, and entertainment all at your fingertips and a variety of it. Toledo overall is the 20-minute city, and you can get to just about any part of Lucas County, which is Toledo and its suburbs, within about 20 to 25 minutes. Now, the village itself is adjacent to the University of Toledo campus here and near hospitals and major employers. So if you need groceries or coffee, there are shopping centers, bars, restaurants right outside the village border that are great. Want nightlife or cultural attractions? You're only a short drive to downtown Toledo or any of the major local metro parks and all the different suburbs which have their own vibe and scene. You're also close to the famous Toledo Museum of Art and the Toledo Zoo, which both have been nationally ranked at different points. Plus, if you do crave big league action, Detroit and Ann Arbor are only about an hour's drive north, and Cleveland is only about an hour and a half to 2 hours east. Living in Ottawa Hills, you truly get the serene, family friendly atmosphere at home while still being close to everything you need. It's the best of both worlds, suburban oasis with the city amenities. Now, that all sounds amazing, and it really is, but I want to give you the full picture. So we've got to talk about the cons too. No place is perfect, not even Ottawa Hills. So buckle up because here come the drawbacks you need to know about. Well, number one on our list, high housing cost. Let's address the elephant in the room. It's expensive to live here. Ottawa Hills is by far one of the priciest areas in our region. The median home sale price here is around $400,000 and many homes are well above that. In fact, the typical home value is closer to $420,000. And when you compare that to the city of Toledo nearby, the median home price there is only about $130,000. We're talking nearly 3 times higher in Ottawa Hills. So you're going to pay a premium to buy into this community. Even rent is high if you can even find a rental, often $2,000 per month or more for a house, very few apartments here. The bottom line, living in Ottawa Hills is not cheap. If you're on a tight budget or a first-time home buyer with limited funds, this might stretch your wallet a bit more than you're comfortable with. On the flip side, some might argue you get what you pay for. One former resident noted that Ottawa Hills offers all these perks at a fraction of the cost of similarly affluent suburbs in bigger cities around the country. And that's probably true when you compare it to Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, LA, Miami. But within the Toledo area, this is a high end of the market. So be prepared for sticker shock when house hunting here. Another con is the hefty property taxes. High home prices come with another cost, and that's the property taxes. And they are hefty here in Ottawa Hills. This little village actually has the highest property tax rate in Lucas County at around 3.4% effective rate. To put that into perspective, that's almost double the county average and well above the Ohio state average. For a 400K home, 3.4% means around 13,600 per year in property taxes, just to give you a ballpark. But that may vary on your tax bill depending on any discounts you get or tax credits. Now, that money does fund those excellent schools and the services, so residents get value from it. But if you move here, brace yourself for a big tax bill each year. It's a trade off. You're essentially investing back into the community through your taxes, which is great, but not everyone can comfortably afford that. So high taxes are a definite con, one you'll literally feel in your bank account every year. Another con is the limited diversity and the bubble feel that we kind of talked about earlier. Ottawa Hills is often described as an oasis, and it is, but that can be a double-edged sword. The village is small and very homogeneous in terms of both demographics and housing. Most residents are affluent, majority are in professional careers, and the population isn't particularly diverse. Niche.com gives it a B at the school level for its predominantly white student body. If you're looking for a mix of backgrounds, lifestyles, or a broad cultural scene right in your neighborhood, Ottawa Hills has parts like that, but you also might find some parts a bit insular. It's a tiny bubble of wealth in the Toledo area. In fact, drive 1 mile out of Ottawa Hills and things change quickly. You might find yourself in a much more typical urban Midwest setting. The contrast can be jarring. Beautiful mansions, tree-lined streets, and then you're suddenly in a normal city neighborhood with much lower incomes and higher crime rates than inside that bubble. Some people actually like the secluded, exclusive vibe, to each their own, but others might feel a bit isolated or out of touch living here. If you want an area with a funky mix of residents or the city bustle, this may not be it. Ottawa Hills can feel like its own little world, whether that's for better or for worse for you. Another con can be the cost of living and amenities, specifically for Ottawa Hills. Because Ottawa Hills is residential and upscale, it's not exactly a hotspot for nightlife or urban amenities within the village. There are no big shopping centers or bars inside Ottawa Hills. Zoning is almost entirely residential. You'll have to hop over the border into Toledo, Sylvania, Maumee, go down to Perrysburg for most of your restaurants, grocery stores, dining, activities, entertainment, and nightlife. That's usually just a 5 to 10 minute drive if you stay in Toledo or Sylvania, but it's something to note, you won't have a downtown or commercial district right out your door. Ubers are not as popular here in Toledo as they are in other major cities. However, we do have them. You're going to be spending a lot of time and money on those. However, if you want walkability or don't have a car. For young adults or singles craving nightlifes, clubbing, concerts, or anything like that, you're going to be driving downtown or up to Ann Arbor or Detroit or somewhere else for bigger events. One resident mentioned that Ottawa Hills isn't near any major sports venues or big events for young people, and that is relatively true. You won't be walking to any stadiums or trending breweries, but because Toledo is that 20-minute city, it's not too far of a drive, so if you have a car, you'll probably be fine. Additionally, the job market in the immediate area is limited. High paying jobs in Toledo are fewer than in larger cities, so some professionals end up commuting or wishing for more opportunities nearby. It's not uncommon for people to work in Ann Arbor an hour away or have up to 2 or 3 hour commute times each way, I've heard. In short, Ottawa Hills is fantastic for families and a quiet life, but it might feel too quiet for those looking for a busy social scene. If you're a person who loves to go out on the town every weekend, the suburban serenity here might leave you a bit bored. Another con can be the limited housing options overall. So, almost all homes in Ottawa Hills are single family houses, and many are large and high maintenance. There's very little in terms of apartments, condos, or smaller starter homes in the village. This means if you're not ready for a big house or big mortgage, it's tough to live here. Young professionals often rent in other parts of Toledo or the suburbs because there just aren't affordable apartments in Ottawa Hills. Likewise, even older residents who might want to downsize don't have many condo or senior housing options in the village. It's kind of large home or bust in Ottawa Hills. That exclusivity maintains property value, sure, but it also means not everyone can find a suitable home here. Keep that in mind if you're thinking long term. Your housing choices in town here will be limited. Another potential con is the strict regulations and expectations. This isn't a place where you can park a rusty boat on your front lawn or paint your house neon green, and honestly, that's probably part of why it's so nice. Ottawa Hills has strict village ordinances and an involved code enforcement to keep things looking pristine. Most residents appreciate this, but if you're someone who dislikes rules or authority, you might show off at the restrictions. Little things like fence heights, lawn care, house additions often have to meet village standards. And remember those vigilant police? Well, they're great for safety, but they will ticket you for rolling through a stop sign or going a few miles an hour over the limit. Basically, Ottawa Hills expects you to be a good citizen. Again, not a huge downside, but some folks prefer a more laid back, do your own thing kind of environment. And that's totally fine. But here, you're probably going to have to play by the community rules. Now, what does all this mean? Well, at the end of this, I want you to be able to ask yourself, is Ottawa Hills right for me? The pros, the cons, you have it now. On one hand, you get elite schools, phenomenal safety, gorgeous surroundings, and a tight knit, affluent community that takes care of its own. Truly one of the best places to live in Northwest Ohio, offering a peaceful, family friendly atmosphere and stability. But on the other hand, you'll pay a premium for that village with high home prices, high taxes, a lack of diversity, and a lack of nightlife. That may not suit everyone. Living here can feel like being in a beautiful little bubble, and you need to decide if that bubble is where you see yourself. In the end, Ottawa Hills is perfect for people who value education, safety, and a luxury neighborhood feel, and who are comfortable with the costs that come with it. If you're raising a family or seeking a quiet, upscale community, it's hard to beat these pros. However, its affordability, excitement, or a mix of different cultures and conveniences are higher on your list. You might lean towards other areas. The key is knowing your own priorities, and I hope this rundown gave you a clear picture of what life in Ottawa Hills is like. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you found this video helpful, like it and subscribe to my page to stay up to date on all things Northwest Ohio. I appreciate you so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next one.